Over the past week, a massive trove of files connected to Jeffrey Epstein has been unsealed, and it's sent huge shockwaves through the worlds of politics, business, and even royalty. What we're really looking at here is a story about power, about influence, and the long, really painful fight for justice.
And the scale of this thing? It's just staggering. We're talking about 3 million pages of documents, photos, and videos. A gigantic archive of information that's only just now starting to see the light of day.
But look, this isn't just about the sheer number of pages. What these files really do is give us a peek into a hidden world, a web that connects some of the most powerful people on the planet. Okay, let's dive into this.
So first up, what's actually in this flood of files? Well, it's way more than just documents. We're talking over 180,000 images and 2,000 videos. The stuff in here is so explosive that official investigations are now being launched in at least 10 different countries as everyone scrambles to figure out what it all means.
And the immediate fallout? It's been nothing short of a political earthquake. This is especially true over in the United Kingdom, where this whole thing has reached the very top levels of government and is kicking off a full-blown crisis.
The whole thing just unraveled so fast. The files showed that Lord Mandelson, who was the UK ambassador to the US, didn't just take money from Epstein. It looks like he also passed along sensitive government info right in the middle of the 2008 financial crisis. Boom, he was fired. Now the police are searching his properties. The whole mess has put the Prime Minister under incredible pressure, and people are actually saying this could potentially bring down the government.
And the political chaos isn't just contained to the UK. Back in the United States, the fallout is hitting the biggest political circles you can imagine. After saying no for months, both Bill and Hillary Clinton are now being forced to testify before Congress. And if they refuse, they could be held in contempt, which might even mean jail time.
As these files make crystal clear, Epstein's network went way beyond just politicians. It reached right into royal palaces and the boardrooms of some of the most powerful people in tech and finance.
For the British royal family, the damage has been huge. For Prince Andrew, an email from Ghislaine Maxwell seems to confirm that infamous photo with Virginia Giuffre, the one he's denied for years, is actually real. And at the same time, emails from his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson showed just how close she was to Epstein, calling him the brother she always wished for, even while he was locked up in prison.
And when you look at the list of names in these files, wow, it is a who's who of the world's most rich and powerful. You've got tech titans like Elon Musk and Google's Sergey Brin, finance giants like Leon Black, and global leaders like Mohammed bin Salman. Now, it's really important to say, just because a name is in these documents doesn't mean they did anything wrong, but it paints an absolutely staggering picture of Epstein's access and his influence.
So you've got people like Bill Gates who are now being forced to come out and publicly say how much they regret ever knowing the guy. But the files also contain some truly shocking allegations, like a claim from Epstein that Gates got an STD from some Russian girls, a claim, I should add, that Gates completely and vehemently denies.
You know, behind all these big headlines about power players and scandals, we absolutely have to remember the people at the very heart of this story, the survivors of Epstein's abuse. And for them, this whole document dump has been an incredibly complex and painful experience.
I mean, you won't believe this, but in what can only be described as a staggering screw-up, the U.S. Department of Justice accidentally released information that publicly identified survivors who had fought so hard to stay anonymous. Their lawyers are calling it irreparable harm, forcing them to relive all their trauma out in the open for the whole world to see.
Just listen to what one survivor, Marina Lacera, who first met Epstein when she was only 14, said about how devastating this has been. She said reading her own files revealed details about her own abuse that she never even knew. She said it left her feeling drained, heartbroken, and just completely overwhelmed.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures the bittersweet feeling of this whole moment. These are the words of Amanda Roberts, the sister-in-law of Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most well-known accusers who tragically died by suicide. You can just feel the pride in the fight she fought, and the deep sadness that she isn't here to see the truth finally starting to come out.
Okay, so all of this brings us to the final and most critical question. We have millions of pages of information, right? But is any of it going to lead to real justice? Is this flood of files actually going to lead to accountability?
And this is where the real conflict lies. On one hand, you have the Department of Justice, which has come out and said its review is done and, quote, there are no grounds to prosecute anyone else. But on the other hand, you have the survivors. And for them, just releasing a bunch of files is not nearly enough. They want arrests. They want charges. They want people to go to jail.
So you might be wondering, well, who is still investigating? Right now, the only official group still digging into this is the U.S. Congress. And they can hold hearings, they can make people testify, but here's the key. They don't have the power to actually charge anyone with a crime. So there's this huge gap between looking into things and actually prosecuting them.
So, we're left with this massive question. The archive of Jeffrey Epstein's world is finally open for everyone to see. But for the survivors, and for a world that's demanding answers, is the case really closed, or is the fight for real accountability just getting started?